So good evening, everybody. I call this meeting to order, the meeting of the Curriculum Equity and Student Wellbeing Committee. And today is October 9, 2024. So we can start our meeting by the call to order, which is done. And second item on the agenda is the acknowledgement of traditional lands, which will be played electronically.
The land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
Thank you. Number 3 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. So Trustee K. McDonald, can you please move the agenda? Thank you. And Trustee Clark, can you second it? Thank you. Any comments or questions on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Number 4 is declaration of conflict of interest. Is there any declaration of conflict of interest? Seeing none, I move on to the next item, which is the approval of minutes, number 5 on the agenda. 5.1 is the approval of the minutes of the Curriculum Equity and Student Wellbeing Committee, which was held on May 14, 2024. Trustee Alves, can you move the minutes to the floor? Trustee Clark, will you please second it? Are there any questions or comments on the minutes? Thank you. All in favor? The minutes have been approved. Number 6 on the agenda is delegations, and there are no delegations today. Number 7 is staff reports, and I would like our AD, Ajit Ojla, to first introduce some new faces here today before we get on with our work on 7.1.
Thank you very much, Chair Benjamin. And through you, I'd like to introduce some new members of our team that are joining us today and will be joining us going forward. So the first is Superintendent of Innovation and International Programs, Bernadette Smith, who will be joining in the capacity as a staff support co-chair, helping to support the ongoing work of this great committee. And the second is Superintendent of Curriculum and School Improvement, Laura Chavarro, who will also be joining in the role of a support person and also co-chairing and supporting the ongoing work of this committee. Tonight, Superintendent Chavarro actually has 2 reports that she will also be presenting and bringing here. And we look forward to that. And I'd also like to introduce some additional staff that are here with us tonight from the Curriculum and School Improvement Committee. We have 3 coordinating principals that are joining in. So we have Sumbul, we have Safia, and we have Tamer. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I will turn it back to you, Chair Benjamin.
Thank you, AD Ojla, and welcome to all. I think we are all new faces on the Curriculum Equity and Student Wellbeing Committee. So we hope to have a very good relationship with you, and you're going to bring a lot of ideas to this committee, and we hope that it'll benefit our students eventually. All right, so on 7.1 on the agenda is here for information and approval and will be presented by Superintendent Lara Shabaro. So she's going to talk on school improvement and equity planning, SIEP update. It's an update.
Thank you so much, Chair Benjamin, and I will present the School Improvement and Equity Planning SEEP report for the 2024-25 school year. Just for clarity, I will be referring to the School Improvement and Equity Planning as the SEEP process. So just for clarification, there are 4 steps to the SEEP process. The first step involves historical data analysis to understand the school context. The second step, school teams, after looking at their school data, make informed decisions to create school improvement goals. The third step of the process is to look at those goals, explore the implementation process, monitor the goals to ensure that there is a change and an improvement in outcomes, achievements, and data. The last step, which is step 4, involves a reflection opportunity so that we could re-engage as a school in the next step of the improvement process. The SEEP process is meant to be iterative, meant to be a cycle, and involves schools, school community, families as best as possible. In PDSB last year, we digitized the SEEP process. So all 4 steps, schools input information to all 4 steps of the SEEP process into an online platform. The SEEP process offers schools opportunities to continuously monitor their data and to track student progress. Our efforts through SEEP are grounded in identifying disproportionalities in student outcome data. The process also ensures that school teams continue to work through PDSB's equity toolkits, resources to ensure that our work is grounded in anti-oppressive and anti-racist approaches. This year, similar to last year, schools are asked to create and report on 2 SEEP goals. The first goal focuses on building students' sense of belonging and well-being in learning environments. SEEP Goal 2 is about achievement in the areas of literacy and mathematics. Each school will work with their school teams, which include parent and community members, through their school councils to create these goals that align with their school data and the school context. The SEEP Steering Committee worked diligently at ensuring the alignment of the SEEP goals with the multi-year strategic plan. As we all know, the multi-year strategic plan encompasses 4 key goals designed to drive student success and create equitable outcomes and learning environments in our schools. These goals are student achievement, safety and well-being, equity and inclusion, and community engagement. The multi-year strategic plan directly aligns with the 2 SEEP goals outlined for every school. The following slide demonstrates the alignment between the board's 4-year multi-year strategic plan goals, the student achievement plan that's outlined by the Ministry of Education, and the 2 SEEP goals that's expected in all of our schools. School improvement work must be responsive to the voices of students and families we serve. By doing so, we ensure that our efforts are student-centered and reflective of the diverse needs of our school communities. SEEP supports school leadership in setting high expectations, using responsive strategies, and monitoring progress through data to address disparities in outcomes for students. The SEEP process emphasizes creating safe and inclusive environments with high standards. It aligns with board practices and incorporates strategies from initiatives like We Rise Together, 2.0, affirming Muslim student identity, and Indigenous ways of knowing. SEEP is founded on these resources that we know will lead to system transformation, addressing systemic racism, and promoting conditions for all students, especially historically marginalized ones, to thrive. Administrators share SEEP goals and next steps with families, parents, and communities in a variety of ways. Parents to varying degrees are involved in the SEED process. In alignment with PPM 170, schools are asked to engage with their school councils and families in this SEED process. This engagement can be reflected in the school council minutes, which are posted on school websites. We're also supporting all principals to share the SEED goals with families and communities while engaging in reciprocal, responsive partnerships to achieve our school improvement goals. That is the end of my report. I am happy to respond to any questions.
Thank you, Superintendent Chaparro. Are there any questions or comments from the trustees?
No.
Yes, Trustee McDonald, please go. Trustee McDonald, please go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Chair. So I have a couple of questions, and thank you for that report, Superintendent Shabaro. Where's my notes here? So the first question I wanted to ask was, through you, Chair, is how do we review what's happening to marginalized students or students that the system marginalizes if they aren't required to identify, let's say, their race or their indigeneity when they are registering?
Thank you for that question, Trustee McDonald, and through you, Chair Benjamin. The SEED process directly addresses disproportionate outcomes by using data to identify and act on disparities, particularly for our Black and Indigenous students. Our educators, our administrators know their learners. That's one of the key priorities outlined by the Ministry of Education. There are three key priority areas that our ministry engages us when we are working through school improvement processes. One of them is around curriculum fidelity. The second is around instruction. And the third, which is the most prevalent one that we work through, is knowing our learners. When we engage in better understanding our students, their identities, their lived experiences, we can address this and the level of service in alignment with their identities and lived experiences. We also work through initiatives like the We Rise Together, and the SEED process includes strategies from those resources, from that tool specifically, to ensure that all of our work is responsive, culturally reflective of the lived experiences and identities of the students in our care.
Oh, great. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And do we have, or what checks and balances do we have to ensure that the processes that are in place to address disproportionality are in fact followed?
Thank you for that question, Trustee McDonald, and through you, Chair Benjamin. The accountability measures that we put in place are robust and continuous. One of the biggest reasons why we digitized the SEED process is so that we could ensure that data collection, input, and revision is an ongoing process. As I said earlier in my report, the SEED process is an iterative process. We continue to look at the data. We continue to examine the disproportionalities, and through the many resources we have, we are continuously looking at the practices to ensure responsiveness and impact on student achievement. Again, continuous work, and we are always re-engaging in the SEED process in all of our schools, not just in one school, but in every single school with PSB.
Okay, thank you for that. And how is this communicated out, like this, the whole equity plan? Well, the SEED plan, how is that communicated to families? So that sometimes, you know, you'd hear people think that, oh, one group is getting something and this other group isn't, or how do we ensure that parents understand our equity plan?
So one of the ministry initiatives through PPM 170 is to ensure that our families and our communities are partners in the education process. Our administrators are engaging with school council conversations as well as with families about their school improvement and equity planning process. There's reciprocity in the process. Knowing the community and in response to the community, principals are engaging in this process in a variety of different ways. And so the expectation is that our principals will be sharing the school improvement process with families as per PPM 170.
Thank you for that. And my final question is around the SVI index, because in the past it used to be published like for schools, and I guess I was trying to find it, couldn't find it, and when I was inquiring about it, I was told that it would require a motion to get this information, but I'm wondering why isn't like the SVI index of the school made available like to the public or somewhere that we could get access without having to go through a motion?
Thank you for that question, Trustee McDonald. And through you, Chair Benjamin, I wouldn't know why that is the process. I will take this back and have an answer for you. I will need to take that back to our research department. Sincere apologies for not having the answer.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's it for me for now.
Thank you, Trustee McDonald. Yeah, I have Trustee Clark putting his hand up, and Trustee you're left next.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Again, it's a very comprehensive report. I appreciate that and everyone's hard work. My question, I might dig in a little deep, but in my wards, I have schools where there are some at-risk communities that make pretty much the majority of the population. How are we, the CEPA approach, how are we able to ensure that communities that are very small percentage of the school population, one school, and are large in another school, how do we ensure that the access and the intent is spread evenly, or is that even part of how this works?
Thank you for that
Yeah,
question,
thank you.
Trustee Clark, and through you, Chair Benjamin. The seed process, the foundation of the seed process starts with student data. And so when we are looking at student achievement data, it is student by student. In order to ensure that every student is able to thrive in the environment with the learning that's culturally responsive, to ensure that they are able to meet their pathways successfully. So regardless of whether we have 2 students or 8 students, because we're looking at an individual student by student, we are ensuring that every student's needs are addressed in a manner that is supportive of what their goals and next steps are going to be. The school improvement process itself is a school-wide process. So what we capture in the actual school improvement process is a broader encompassing process. However, we do know that once we start a bigger picture, our schools and our classrooms and our educators work with students on an individual level.
Okay, thank you.
If I may,
Yes,
through you,
please go ahead.
through you, Chair Benjamin, I just want to sort of build on some of the great feedback that's been provided by Superintendent Chavarro. I think your question, Trustee Clark, blends a little bit with Trustee McDonald's question as well around accountability. And we know that the seed process, as Superintendent Chavarro has indicated, has accountability mechanisms built right into it. The fact that it is digitized, the fact that, teachers, administrators, but beyond the school-based level, superintendents of education, and then right into the associate directors and ultimately into the director's office. There's a direct through line, as we often say, that leads from the child's desk right through up into senior leadership. And then there's conversations that happen on a consistent basis where we are reviewing the data that's being demonstrated through, classroom practice, through the demonstration of learning skills and academic achievement in the classroom that's being reviewed at the level of principals, but also at the level of superintendents. And then our superintendents of education that are in the field are having those conversations, those rich conversations with principals around student achievement as it blends both, through our SEEP data, through our EQAO data. All of these measures are taken into consideration when we think about the accountability stream, and beyond just the large schools, but ultimately, as Superintendent Shore has indicated, right down to individual students. So the mechanisms, I would say, are quite cyclical, and they move right from the child's desk through various aspects of the organization. I hope that helps.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Apologies. Thank you. While I was sitting here absorbing all this, I thought of another question.
Great.
How, seeing as there are some, equity training for certain communities that are not mandatory, how can we ensure that the staff involved in this process are going to will be able to supply this support in a way that is accurate and actually helpful? Thank you.
Thank you for that really good question, Trustee Clark, and through you, Chair Benjamin. Embedded within the SEEP process are strategies that we have extracted directly from our equity toolkits. So the work that we're doing is firmly embedded in affirming and anti-oppressive and anti-racist strategies. What that basically means is that our educators, when working through the SEEP goals, are expected to work through the strategies that we've offered, plus the resources that we have offered, plus the tools that we have offered. So the training is organic. The training is within the context of the work that happens, and it is on an ongoing basis. The resources that we offer our classrooms are embedded within the frameworks. They are reflective of the work that we're doing. They are identity affirming. We also engage our students in surveys, asking them, is this working for you? Are you learning from this? How is this sounding? And our students are giving us a lot of feedback. In fact, some of our students are saying, I walked last year through one of our buildings, and one of our students said, I'm excited because I'm about to go work on our SEEP goal, right? So even our students in many of our schools are actually engaging in those conversations. They're part of the leadership and the school improvement process. They are part of this. So it's an organic, whether training or not, it is part of the process. It is, and our board is school improvement and equity planning. It's not just school improvement planning. Equity is embedded within it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any more questions from trustees? Thank you, Superintendent Chavarro. Since this report was only for receipt, all in favor? Thank you. Received. Item 7.2 is summer learning programs update, once again presented by Superintendent Chavarro.
Thank you so much. And through you, Chair Benjamin, I am pleased to present an overview of the summer learning programs offered across the Peel District School Board during July and August of 2024. These programs continue to serve thousands of students, offering a wide range of learning opportunities designed to advance academic outcomes and support student development. Every summer, PDSB provides a diverse set of learning opportunities for students from kindergarten to grade 12, and even for adult learners. Programs include summer school classes, experiential day school camps, and specialized programs focusing on areas such as literacy, numeracy, leadership, and work integrated learning. Students have the chance to earn credits, develop leadership skills, and engage in hands-on learning that supports post-secondary pathways. To ensure equitable access, we've offered more than 16 programs at over 35 elementary and secondary schools across the district. Programs are designed with flexibility, allowing students to focus on one subject at a time, learning at their own pace. The student-centered approach helps improve self-confidence and self-efficacy. Whether students are engaging in coding camps, outdoor education, or foundational literacy skills, they are supported in a dynamic, focused learning environment. Research shows that summer learning leads to improved academic achievement, stronger foundational skills, and minimizes learning loss. Students also develop positive relationships, increase their confidence, and build essential social skills. Programs help students prepare for post-secondary pathways and whether by earning credits, recovering lost credits, or gaining exposure to higher education settings. Summer learning programs also provide significant benefits to families by easing concerns about childcare during the summer months, often at little or no cost. Programs encourage parent involvement through day trips, program visits, and culminating celebrations, strengthening our relationship between the PDSB family and the community. The wide range of summer learning programs offered by PDSB is a key component in supporting student success, confidence, and development. I'm proud to share that we had 11,000 students participate this summer. Over 10,000 credits were earned through continuing education with a 93% success rate. We also had 645 students engaged in credit recovery courses. By ensuring that these programs are accessible to all students, PDSB continues to align with our commitment to equity and the goals outlined in our multi-year strategic plan. I look forward to continuing to expanding these opportunities with the team that's with me today for our students and working with our community to ensure that every student thrives. I'm going to take a moment to show a quick slideshow capturing images from this summer program. Thank you, and I'm happy to respond to questions.
Thank you, Superintendent Shibaro. Any questions or comments from our trustees? Please go ahead. Trustee Alves first, and then Trustee Kamali.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, through you. I was thinking 93% is a great number, but when we're looking at the students that weren't successful, I didn't see it in the report, but were we capturing the data regarding grades of those that weren't successful? Do we know of the ones that I guess weren't successful in completing this, which grades they fell into?
Thank you for that question, Trustee Alves, and through you, Chair Benjamin. We do have that data. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me right now, but we definitely track why and for what reason and for what grade.
Thank you. And through you, Chair, just my last follow-up. I wouldn't need to have that today. I was just curious to know if we knew, like, if there was a trend, if they were secondary school students or elementary school students, if we saw a trend in that data, I'd be curious to know what it was, and what if there was a common theme to why maybe they didn't succeed, if there was something that the board could do to just help them, they weren't successful this summer, so they don't fall too far behind. If there was something we could do to help that cohort that, didn't make it through this time around for one reason or another. Thanks.
Thank you for that question, Trustee Alves, and through you, Chair Benjamin. My team just pointed out that the 93% success rate is specifically to secondary students, as they would be the ones taking the credits. And I do need to take a deep dive to see if there is a pattern. But that is a great question. I don't have the answer to that right now. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you. Through you, Chair. That's totally fine. I didn't expect it. Sorry, the reason I was asking for multiple grades, I suppose I misinterpreted this. I was reading summer programs available, but you're correct. The credits would only be for secondary school students. So yeah, I'd be curious to know what the number was when it came to them, and then how we can fill they can. But that's it. Thank you.
Trustee Kamali, your turn.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for bringing us this update. I wanted to let you know that I heard from a number of families in my community this summer and last year also, who just wanted to let me know how much they were gaining from these programs and what a difference it was making for their children. And so I just wanted to pass that feedback on. like over and over again, these were parents that were reaching out and telling me, you know, that this really provided a great benefit for their kids during the summer, and they felt that it was helping them, whether it was just to, you know, keep them sharp on their skills or to help them, you know, gain footing where they maybe were struggling before. They just really appreciated it, and the kids had a great time. So thank you for the work that you're doing here. It's an incredible summer learning, and you're doing really beautiful work. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And that's attestation to the great work that this amazing team has been doing on an ongoing basis. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Trustee McDonald, your turn.
Thank you. Through your chair. I actually was just going to echo Trustee Promoli's sentiments, because I got nothing but glowing remarks about the various summer programs at the board. And I think it's really making a difference, and families truly appreciate it. And just positivity all around with regards to the attendees of especially the camps that are provided. And yeah, without repeating what Trustee Promoli said. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments? I have just one question. Sorry, what was that? Oh, Trustee Bailey?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Through you, Chair. I agree wholeheartedly with what Trustee Paroli said. The Peel District School Board has had a history of offering summer programs, and they've just gotten better and better over the years. And the feedback from the community lets us know that you're doing something fabulous for the students and families in the community. I do have one clarifying question. I noticed in the report it said 15,000 students participated, but when you were speaking, you said 11,000. Like, is it just a misspeak? Which one was it? Like, or did I hear wrong?
Thank you for that question, Trustee Bailey, and through you, Chair Benjamin. I think I said over 11,000, but I think it is around 15,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's on you.
Through you, Chair Benjamin, I'm just going to turn it over to coordinating principal Camel to explain the numbers.
Thank you, and through Chair. It's very simple. 11,000 is the summer school credit granting classes, where 15,000 is the entirety of all the summer programs. So that includes our K-12. 11,000 is just the high school portion that was credit granting through Con Ed, not the other programs that we saw. So overall, it is 15,000. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate it.
Is that all, Trustee Bailey?
Yes.
Thank you. I just have one question. Do any students pay any fees or for these programs?
Thank you for the question, and through Chair. We do have a small fee for some of our programs. The summer school programs, there's no fee for.
Not for the credit ones.
For the credit granting ones, there are none. For the also some of the camp programs, there is a nominal fee. That being said, that nominal fee is not mandatory. We do collect it, and the reason it's collected is because the way that funding is, the funding is cost recoverable in that we get funding through attendance. So in order for the kids, we call it, the skin in the game, we ask for a very small amount just to ensure that they attend. Because if they don't attend, we will not be able to pay for their spot in that program. So it tends to be about $10 a week for some of our programs. That's the maximum. And if any family cannot spend, we tell all the schools don't run after any family. If they don't pay, don't call them. We'll cover the difference if necessary.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. No more questions, I think. So once again, this report is per receipt. So all in favor? So we have finished with item number 7, and we're going to number 8. But before I go on to number 8 on the agenda, both these reports have been received and will be presented at the next board meeting. Number 8 is communications. I do not see any communications. Number 9 on the agenda, trustee motions for consideration. There are none. Number 10 is trustee notices of motion. There's none. And number 11 is adjournment. Who would you want to put that on the floor? Trustee Alves and Trustee Dr. Molly. Thank you very much. That's done for this evening.